Welcome back to the another video. In this video, we are going to configure the Palo Alto site-to-site VPN. So you can see that I do have a headquarters over here, and I do have a data center, and there is a one web server which is running over here. So web server is nothing just a Cisco router which is running on a port number 80. So my intention of this lab is that my PC1 or PC2 should be able to communicate with this server, including the management PC should be able to communicate with that server. But since this is a private address which is not routable on the internet and we don't want the GRE tunnel, but we do want to encrypt the tunnel so that our traffic, whenever the PC1 and PC2 or management PC is trying to communicate with this web server, it should be able to communicate and the traffic should be encrypted. Now, to understand how the VPN works is that this is the site-to-site VPN. That means site-to-site IPsec VPN. So we do have two different phases in here. So there is phase one and there is phase two. So in phase one, we will be authenticating each other. That is, Palo Alto will authenticate each other. So Palo Alto, which is on the headquarters and data centers, these Palo Altos will authenticate each other. So you might be defining some attributes over here. What should be the encryption, like 3DS, for example, like a group, what is the group, what is the hash. So these are the different encryption, and you will say that I want to authenticate using a pre-shared key. That means a password. So in the first phase, you will authenticate the peer, and you will make sure that you do both of them are on the same page uh, by confirming that they are using the same attributes which they are using on one side and the other side. So once these authentication is successful, they will, since we are doing a p-shared key that is using the password, so definitely they will exchange the password and make sure that password is correct, and after that they will form first tunnel. So within that tunnel, again, once this tunnel is being formed, they will exchange the keys so that they can have a secure communication for the phase two. So once the first one tunnel is been formed, they will exchange the key. Once the keys are exchanged, then next the phase two. Now in the phase two is the responsibility of this tunnel is to encrypt the data and send it on the other side. So this is the IPsec tunnel, and this is the I, IKE tunnel. So IKE means Internet Key Exchange Tunnel. Now in the Ike version, we have version 1 and version 2 over here, but version 1 is no more secure anymore, so we mostly use version 2 now. And also version 2 is much more flexible and it has been enhanced with respect to version 1, and most companies are started to use now version 2. So IKE is the Internet Key Exchange, so which is responsible to create a phase 1 tunnel to exchange the keys for the phase 2 in order to encrypt the data. So in the phase 2, again, same thing, we are defining what kind of attributes, like I want to encrypt using 3DS, I want to use the hash 1, and I want to create a tunnel, and I will create one tunnel. So once this tunnel is being created, so this tunnel will have an IP address. So basically you can say like a GRE tunnel, but it's not a GRE tunnel, it's an IPsec tunnel. So we're not specifying that it will be a GRE tunnel. So it will be just a tunnel which will having an IP address. So we will give any of the IP address. For example, I will give 100.1.1.1 on this side and 100.1.1.2 on the other side. All right. So the hierarchy, how we create these configuration in the Palo Alto is a little bit different. So first thing is that we define the cryptographies, the attributes of the IKE. So we are using version 2, so we will define those attributes. So by default, there are some profiles created for you. So if you want to use the default, you're most welcome. And in this example, in this lab also, we will be using the default one, since we don't need to create any specific one, so we can utilize the default one. So once the attribute profile of IKE, Internet Key Exchange, is created, next thing is that we create the profile for the data tunnel, that is IPsec. So these both two includes the encryption and the key size and the hash attributes. So once these two are defined, so next thing will be defining the IKE gateway. So this gateway will give you the information who is the source and who is the destination, and also which source on to reach the destination, what is the source interface. For in this example, we do have E1/1. On both the sides, it's same E1/1. Alright, so it will ask you some details, and again it will ask you what will be the password. So for example, we will give a password like Palo Alto or lowercase letter on both sides. So these are the information it will ask you once you provide it. So like you're providing the source, then the destination, that is the IP addresses, then you provide the source interface, then you provide the pre-shared key, and the gateway is ready. So once that is been ready in the IPsec tunnel for the phase 2, so we need a tunnel, right? So for the phase 2, so first we will create a tunnel. So we will create an interface tunnel, and this tunnel will be associated to IPsec tunnel. So what we are saying to IPsec is that if you want to create a tunnel, you utilize the tunnel which we created, that is interface tunnel. So we created an tunnel interface. So we want the IPsec to utilize that one. And within that one, once we assign that tunnel, we will now use that tunnel. How we will use that tunnel? So now when you give a route, so currently this Palo Alto doesn't know how to go to the 10.1.1.0 network, right? So in order to tell Palo Alto how to reach to 10.1.1 network, what we are doing is that we will create a static route saying that the on the headquarters we say that 10.1.1.0/24, if you want to reach, go to tunnel 1. So this tunnel 1, for example, is associated with the IPsec tunnel. So if your phase 1 tunnel is up and running, your key will be exchanged, and your second tunnel will come up. And once that tunnel is comes up, what it will do is that we have given a route saying that 10.1.1.0 should go via the tunnel, and there is no next hop. So there is no next hop. We are just saying that go to this interface simply. Similarly, on the other side also we will do the same thing. We will say that 172.168.0.0/16. If you want to reach this one, so go to the tunnel 1. So we will also create an interface tunnel over here. So once this has been done, so now the communication will be okay. But again, the thing is that we need to have a policy in place. So what we can say that on the we can create one VPN policy on the headquarters saying that source will be inside network, but destination will be 10.1.1.0/24. We want to allow the traffic. So source zone will be inside, destination zone will be inside, and the destination is 10.1.1.0. Traffic should be allowed. And again, you can have a specific traffic, or basically if you say that with respect to the perspective of headquarters, you see that from the inside to outside, we will definitely allow the traffic, so we don't need to create any policy. But when we see with the perspective of the data center, the traffic is coming in this direction, so it is hitting on the outside. So we have to tell the data center Palo Alto saying that traffic coming from the outside, source will be 172.168.0.0/16, going towards the web server, allow the traffic. So only on the data center we have to create a policy saying that data traffic is coming from outside and the destination is inside, you allow the traffic, but the source address should be this much, this one, and the destination should be matching, then only you allow the traffic, otherwise you don't allow the traffic. All right, so that's how the things work. So if you know how the VPN, side-to-side VPN work like phase 1 and phase 2, it will be much more easy to understand. Now with the Palo Alto, I do understand that it's a little bit confusing configuration because it's not a little bit, what do you say, straightforward, because you do have different options to be created on a different tabs. So what I will do is that I will create a hierarchy first. So what we are going to do. So I will define that process how we are going to do these things. All right, so first thing is that I will create one interface tunnel. So that interface tunnel will have an IP address of 100.1.1.0/24 on each side. And the second thing is that I will use a default IKE version 2 attributes and IPsec attributes, default ones. So what are the default ones? I will use the default ones. Number three, I will create one IKE gateway. And number four, I will create one IPsec tunnel. And number five, we will create the policy. Alright, so first thing first, so let's go to and create the interface tunnel on the Palo Alto one. So I'm on my Palo Alto one now. So what I will do is that go to device. So you see that both of them are Palo Alto VM. So let me change the host name first so that it will be easy to. Okay, that should be PAVM1. That's it. I'm not doing any other things. And commit. I will go back here, do the same thing. You see that gear icon is not showing up, but there is an edit option over there. So this will be PAVM2 and it's committing here. So I will do the commit here and commit. Let that finish. Now first what we said that we are going to configure the interface tunnel. And also I just want to let you know that I think there are no policies I have created for it. So there are no policies, security policy, neither we are doing a NAT for now. So currently my management PCs, PC1 are not able to communicate with internet because there is no policy and there is no NAT yet. So first we will create the VPN, we will allow the traffic. Once we confirm that one, then we will go ahead with the next one, which is NATing. So what I will do is that first I will go to network and I will say that I want to create a tunnel interface and I will click on add and I will say tunnel number one. That should be layer 3. So I will select the virtual router as the default. And security zone, I will select outside only because I don't want to create a new policy. If I create a new zone, then I have to create a new policy. So I will utilize the one which we have, the outside. Send the IPv4 address, as we said that we will utilize 100.1.1.1/24, and we will allow the ping on this particular management profile. Click on OK. So first one is done. Next, IKE and IPsec attributes, which we will use the default one. So if you, in the same network, so if you go down, you will see that IPsec crypto, we do have default profiles created for you, and IKE crypto, there are default profiles created for you. So we will use the default ones. Okay, second one is also done. So next is the IKE gateway. So in the same section, we do have something called IKE gateway. So we'll create that one. Click on add. So IKE VPN. And you see that version, more IKE 1 only, 2 only, or 2 preferred. I will select 2 only. And I will select the interface that is the outside interface. And I will select the IP address assigned to the type outside interface. And the peer address, we don't have any object created to that peer address. So I will just write down here what is 192.168.1.29. So if I go back to my topology, so this is the subnet on my internet. Dot 128 is the Palo Alto 1 and dot 129 is the Palo Alto 2. So I will say 129 because that is the other side, and the preset key will be Palo Alto. And local identification, if you want to identify the local IP address and the peer IP address, which we are already giving, so we don't require that one. Okay, so just for the extra security. So click on OK. Alright, so we have created the IKE gateway. Now we will create the IPsec tunnel. So on the same section at the top, there should be an option called IPsec tunnel. So we will select that one, click on add, and I will say IPsec TON tunnel, and I will select the tunnel which it will utilize, that is tunnel 1 which we created. And now for the phase 2, I am not giving any manual key or global protect satellite, because if you select the manual key, it will ask for the local SPI again. That will be a little bit advanced. So I will select auto key. So they will create their own key and they will authenticate each other for the phase 2. Now IKE gateway which we created, that is IKE VPN, and the crypto profile we said that we are going to use the default one, or you can use any of the suite available. But the higher the number, this one 256 is like a strong encryption. You should be using that one. But I will be using a default one. If I click on show advanced, you do have the enable replay protection. Keep it enabled. And if you want to monitor the tunnel, which we do not require, just a lab, but if in the production, if you monitor, yes, you can select this one and give a tunnel IP address destination. And the profile, you will select the ping because we just want to do a ping. For now, this should be enough, and click on OK. Now, another thing is that if I go to the proxy ID, since we are not using any NAT yet, so we are not interested in this one. So once I select that one, you see that IPsec tunnel information, it shows red. That means it is down, status is down. Right, so that is done. Next thing is the policy. So we will say that inside to outside, the policy should be allowing the traffic. So let's go to the policy. And in the security policy, click on add. And we will say that inside to outside, source will be inside, destination will be outside, application will be any, and this one will be any, action will be allow. Click on OK and click on commit and commit. So Palo Alto 1 is done. So let's do the same thing for the Palo Alto 2 also. So let's go to Palo Alto 2 now. We will go to the network first, and within the interfaces we go to tunnel first. Click on add, and we will give a name as a tunnel 1. We will select the default virtual routes. Zone, I will select the same thing, outside, because we are configuring the VPN on the outside interface. IPv4, I will select 100.1.1.2/24. One was the Palo Alto one. Advanced, we will select the ping, the management profile, so that we can ping. So once the tunnel is created, next thing will be that IPsec crypto. We will use the same thing, default, and IKE crypto, we will use the same thing. IKE gateway, click on add, and I will say here also the same thing, IKE VPN, and I will select IKE version 2 because I have given the IKE version 2 mode only on the Palo Alto one. So interface here also it will be the same interface 1/1, and the IP address will be 192.168.1.129. Peer address will be 192.168.1.128, and preset key will be Palo Alto, and click on OK. So now on the same thing on the IPsec tunnel, we will go ahead and click on add, and we will say that IPsec tunnel, I will utilize the tunnel which we created. Next IKE gateway will be IKE VPN, and again crypto profile I will use the default one. Show the advanced, make sure that enable replay protection is clicked on, and click on OK. So once it is been done, so let's go to the policy now. Because we are on the data center, first we will create a specific policy, traffic coming from outside to inside. So first thing what I will do is that add, I will say this one will be the VPN policy, source will be the outside, destination will be the inside, and again source address will be 172.168.0.0/16, and the destination address will be 10.1.1.2/32. So I'm giving a specific 32 because that is the only web server available. Application I will say any. This one also I will say any. Action will be allow. Click on OK. And the data center one, now I can say that inside to outside, that will be a normal policy to allow the traffic to go to the internet. So we will go ahead and click on add, and here we will say inside to outside, and the source will be inside, destination will be outside, application will be any, service will be any, action will be allow. Click on OK, and now we will click on commit and commit. So now commit successful is over here. So if I go back to my network and on the IPsec tunnel, still the tunnel is down. So once this is committed, what should I see? That they should exchange it and the tunnel should come up, and you can see that the status is currently up. So the tunnel is up and running. So that protocol is up and running. We are just waiting for the other side to respond. So let the commit finish now, and once that is been finished, we will go ahead and verify it. So we can verify it using the management PC also, or PC1, since I'm on the management PC, because the traffic is going via the through the firewall itself. So we can also test on the management PC or PC1. Both of them should be good. All right, so almost there. Commit configuration successful. Let's go to the network and IPsec tunnel, and still the tunnel is down. So we just give it a little bit time. Now again, the tunnel will be down because the traffic is not initiated to go to that web server. So again, one more thing we are missing is that we did not told the Palo Alto that if you want to reach 10.1.1.1, you should be using tunnel. And we also did not say to Palo Alto that if you want to reach 172.168.0.0/16, you want to use the tunnel. So routing, we did not do that one. So let's do that one now. So on the network itself, we will go to virtual router. So let me go back to PA1, that is Palo Alto 1. Select the default virtual router, and here we will give a static route. So you see that I do have two routes over here for the Palo Alto one, so that they can have inside and outside communication. So I will click on add, and I will say this one will be the VPN. Destination will be 10.1.1.0/24. I will utilize the interface that is tunnel 1. Next hop address, I will say none. That's it. So simply I'm saying that if you want to go to 10.1.1.1, just use the tunnel, click on OK and OK. So we did everything, but we did not include the routing. So I will add that one also. So click on again on default on Palo Alto 2, go to static route. You see that I do have only one route going towards the internet. Click on add. And here I will say VPN, same thing, but the subnet will be 172.168.0.0/16. And the interface will be tunnel 1. Next hop will be none. Click on OK and OK and commit and commit. So we will add number 6 over here, route. Right, that's what we missed. So once the commit is complete, then after that we will initiate. So until unless you initiate a traffic, the tunnel will not come up. So once you initiate the traffic, the tunnel, they will do the negotiation. So what I will do is that on the Palo Alto one, I will start capturing on packets Wireshark. So I will run the Wireshark on the interface 1/1. Okay. So this is on the interface 1/1 Palo Alto. I'm running that Wireshark. And now configuration commit is successful. Here is also successful. Let's go to the IPsec tunnel on PA2. Still it is down. Let's go to the IPsec tunnel, which is down. Now I will simply initiate a ping 10.1.1.2 -t. I will enter it and I will go back to the Wireshark. You see that the ISA camp started, and after that you see that ESP protocol is up and running now, and you see that my traffic is now going. So you see that the query had happened, they have done all the things. So if I go back to my PC and now you see that my traffic is going on, that's all good. And if I come back here, IPsec tunnel, the tunnel should also be green now. You see that? And if I come back here, go back to refresh it, and you should see the tunnel is up and running. And if I go back to my Wireshark, you can see that this ESP protocol, which is my packet, is being encrypted, so which is going from 128 to 129. Now next thing is that I will try to close this one. I will just access that is 10.1.1.2 and Cisco, and here you should see that ESP protocol, the packet is being encrypted, whatever we are doing. And again on this one 15 show IP HTTP server history, and if I come back to Wireshark and you see that these are the all packets which are encrypted on the ESP protocol. All right, and you can see that who is accessing that one is my management PC. It's all good. Now what I will do is that since the tunnel is up now, so the tunnel between these two Palo Alto is up and running now. So that means by default the Palo Alto tunnel will be up for 1 hour. So when this tunnel is up and running, so what happens is that when I do the netting, still the traffic will go via the tunnel. So we cannot do a proper testing. So first what I will do, I will disable that tunnel. Go back to my Palo Alto, I will select this tunnel on the PA1 and I will say it at the bottom, you see that disable, disable it and disable, and the tunnel should go down. And also if I go to PA2, Palo Alto 2, if I say that show VPN IKESA, right, so it does. And now you see that before it was up, but there is no tunnel now. Yep, you see that the tunnel is down. That is all good. Should be down. Peer address, it is still showing up. And I will also, you see that it is down. Now on the second Palo Alto, I will also disable the tunnel. So once sorry, I did not commit it, so that's why the tunnel is showing up. So I will click and commit. So on the other side, I will just keep it enable. I will not do any changes on the other side, only from the one side I will do it. So I have disabled on the Palo Alto 1. So I have disabled the tunnel on the Palo Alto 1 for now, so that the tunnel goes down. So once the tunnel goes down, we should not see any information here. Then we will go ahead and do the netting. So until then, we will do the netting. So I will close and I will go to Palo Alto 1 and I will go to policies and I will go to net and I will say add. And here I will say give a name net, original packet which will be coming from inside, destination will be outside, interface will be 1/1, translated address, I want to translate dynamic IP and port, I will select the interface and select the IP address because that is what I want to take and go outside. Now click on OK. Let me see if the previous one has been committed, almost there. Committed successfully, that should be good. Completed, let's go and commit this one. So if before I do anything, I will once again confirm that I am not having any connectivity to the internet, but if I go and ping inside interface of my Palo Alto, I'm able to ping, but I'm not able to ping to the internet. So I'll go ahead and commit now. So now what we did was we have done the netting, so my internal PC should be able to communicate with the internet. And also if I come back to Palo Alto 2 and see that there was an security association, but there is none over here now. Alright, it just gives the peer, what is the peer and the information, but there are no security tunnel running. So there is no tunnel one. So the tunnel is down, so that's all good now. So once this configuration is done, so I should be able to ping 8.8.8. Alright, so configuration is committed successfully. That's all good. So now on the Wireshark still it is running, so that is good. And now I will click on close and I will try to ping. You see that I'm now able to reach to the internet. That's all good. Now what I will do is that I will go back to my network and I will go to IPsec tunnel and I will enable this tunnel now. So once that has been enabled, let's go ahead and commit. Now again, since the tunnel is down, until I initiate the traffic, the tunnel will not come up. So let it commit now. Okay, in you at the bottom you can see that unidentified network, but there is an internet access. That's all good now. All right. So once the commit is complete, so we are saying that both the tunnels are enabled. So tunnel is enabled on the both sides. So let's go ahead and initiate the traffic. So in the Wireshark, this is what we say. So I will say that ping 10.1.1.2 minus t and you see that it was so I'm able to ping. So if I go back to Palo Alto 2 again and if I say that and you see that again the tunnel came back online. Again similarly if I say that show VPN IP6 so it will show that IPsec tunnel IKE VPN, the one which is the gateway we used, it is up. Show the list of auto key gateway flow, that should be all good. So that confirms it. So now if I go back to the browser and try to access on the 10.1.1.2, I'm able to access and I should be also seeing ESP. Okay, okay. I should be seeing the ESP protocol. Let me see if I am able to. Okay. Yep. You see that ESP protocol and it is now trying to reach. Okay. So if I say that show IP HTTP server history, and if I come back here, more packets are generated. That should be all good. Okay. 26443. Let me go ahead and say show IP route. Come back here, you see that the packets have been increasing. So that gives me a confirmation that it is been encrypting the traffic. That's all good. Now the good thing is that I have created a NAT over here, right? The traffic is going from here to the internet using the NAT. So when the traffic is coming back from the web browser, here there is a NAT. But still Palo Alto is so good in that once you do not have to do any NAT exemption. You did not require because I did nothing because the configuration is constructed in such a way that it's which specifically says that if you want to reach a 10.1.1.1 network, go to the tunnel simply. And that tunnel is been tied to the IPsec. That means it will be encrypted. So you don't require to do any NAT exemption, even though you have an option to, if I select this one, for the proxy IDs, not on this one, if I go to the gateway, and in the gateway advanced option, you see that you do have a enable NAT traversal option. So NAT traversal, but basically it will do the NAT exemption, which we did not require to do. So that's how it's the configuration is good. A little bit, I can say confusing, but in what do you say? It's much better if you once you understand that one, it will be very easy to configure that one. All right. So now the on the other side also I will do the NATing. So for that one, I can go to Palo Alto 2 and I will go to the policy. I will go to the NAT policy, click on add, and here also, and similarly what I will do, I will just disable this tunnel again for temporarily. Click on commit. Okay, task. So it is committing. Let's go over here. So we will say NAT on the Palo Alto 2 original packet source because we are doing NAT from only one side. So I will say inside. Destination will be outside. Destination will be this interface. Translate to dynamic IP and port, and I will select the interface. Interface will be 1/1 and the IP address will be this one and click on OK and commit and commit. So once we commit on the other side, so other side web server should also be able to communicate with the internet, and the PCs also from the headquarters are able to communicate with the internet. And after that, I will make sure that the tunnel is down, then I will enable it. So on the both side, the NAT will be on, and after that, we will try to access the web server again to make sure that our configuration is correct. Okay, so if I come back here, the commit is successful. Click on close. And here, if I go back to my Palo Alto 2, I will say IKE Security Association. Now the tunnel is down, so that is good. Now what I will do, I will enable this tunnel now, and I will do the commit one more time. Because once, until unless you initiate the traffic, the tunnel will not come up. So that should be all good. So configuration is good from the data center side. So now I will go to web server now. So I will take the access for the web server, which is a Cisco router. So if I say ping 8.8.8, I should be able to ping now. See, I'm able to ping. Right. I'm able to ping to the internet. So from both the sides, they are able to ping the internet. That means netting is enabled on both the Palo Altos. Now let's wait for this configuration to complete. And after that, I will initiate the traffic one more time. Close. So let's do the traffic one more time. That is 10.1.1.2. See that I'm able to ping, and you see that the packets are now encrypting the traffic. So packet. Now I will right click on that one. I will select new private window just to make sure that it is having a new connection 10.1.1.2. And now you can see that history I'm able to access. Now if I come back here, you see that the packets are now increasing. All right, so usually when we configure the site-to-site VPN, when we are having a NAT on the other side, we have to configure the NAT exemption. But you see that I did not configure any NAT exemption, but the Palo Alto has the hierarchy in such a way that it doesn't require for you to do any more configuration on the NAT. Now let's go to the Palo Alto 2 now on the second one, data center. And if I say the same thing now, I should have a tunnel up and running. Right, so that was our VPN sessions. I hope this was informative for you and thank you.